My name's Neil Mason, Director of Analytical Consulting here at Foviance. Earlier this week, Jim Sterne, who's been a guru of the internet marketing and web analytics world for the past 15 years or so, dropped by our offices. It gave me an opportunity to catch up with Jim again and to have a chat about what he saw as some of the key trends and issues in the market at the moment. Here's what he had to say. Well, Jim, great to see you again.
Thanks, Neil. Likewise.
Over this side of the Atlantic, for once.
Yeah.
Jim, I'm sort of thinking about where we are now. You've been consulting in internet marketing and specifically web analytics for, what, 15 years?
Well, 15 years in web marketing and 10 years for web analytics.
Yeah. So, I mean, you've been there pretty much since the beginning of both of those disciplines, I think. So, I mean, almost in a sort of positive history, what do you see as some of the major shifts that have occurred over that time, and particularly sort of bring us up to where we are now in terms of the way the industry is developing?
Well, the big shift happened early, which was going from nothing to reporting. So, okay, we've got some reports, and they tell us we've got so many people coming so often, looking at so many pages, which was fascinating and very valuable to prove that, yes, this was the web is a viable way of reaching people, and that people are interested enough to reach in and grab the information they want. Then people discovered that they could use this to make their websites better. So they went from just reporting to benchmarking. And from that to optimization, if we make a change, was it a good change? Was it a valuable change? Then, we're now able to tell whether or not our marketing is working. So I'm going to have a statement about our products and services on our website and see how people respond to that. Next week, we'll change it to something slightly different to see if people respond better to that. Find the best positioning, the best description, perhaps the best pricing policy, and roll that out to the rest of our marketing. So we've gone from reporting to benchmarking to optimizing to market optimization, and now we're just starting to see companies using web data to run the company. So packaged goods companies, automobile manufacturers, using web data to determine what territories we should be shipping which products into. Should we open up another retail store? Should we add new products to our line? Should we add new features to our products? These are business decisions. People are recognizing that the web is a tool that they can use to inform those decisions. And that's sort of the big shift recently.
So organisations are now actually using online intelligence to make offline business decisions.
Exactly. Yes.
And is that something that you're seeing on both sides of the Atlantic, or is it, obviously you are more familiar with the US, but is that due to scale issues? I mean, why do you think that shift's beginning to happen right now?
I think it's a natural progression. It's the evolution of in the beginning, it's the marketing person saying to the IT guy, what's happening on the website? And IT saying, well, what do you want to know? And marketing saying, well, what do you have? And IT saying, well, what do you need? Finally, there's enough understanding between them that marketing is saying, gee, this data could also be used for this, and this. And so it's a natural progression. Now, the difference between what's happening in the States and what's happening in the UK and what's happening in Europe, it's a natural adoption curve.
Right.
Companies in the U.S. are very happy to jump in and try things. We are the explorers. We are not as risk averse. And so, yes, we'll jump in, while the UK and Europe are happy to sit back and say, go right ahead, let us know how it goes, and if it works out, great, we'll follow. That's part of it, the cultural issue. The next part is scale. Now, I like to quote Bruce Sterling, who said that the future is already here, it's just not evenly distributed.
Right.
So there are companies in the U.S. that are doing amazing things. There are companies in the U.K. doing amazing things. There are companies in Germany doing amazing things. There's more of them in the U.S. than there are in the U.K., than there are in Germany, and then the rest of Europe. But there are still very switched-on companies all over the world who are doing really interesting things. It's just not evenly distributed.
And what do you think is the difference between those companies that have effectively, are in the future? I mean, are there certain characteristics of these companies? I mean, what is it about them that is leading them to be more innovative and more adoptive?
boy, I'd have to put my finger on all of the elements that belong to change management.
Right.
Supportive senior management, a grassroots understanding of the value at the coalface, the ability to move an organization forward, because we're moving from this idea of measuring how many people and how many pages all the way to understanding what is the customer experience.
Right.
What is the customer perception of the company? And this is a philosophical change. It's different. It's the switch from, I know how to make shoes, and I'm going to make the best shoes in the world, and you're the customer, you're going to buy them because I know shoes. Well, actually now we need the customer to tell us what kind of shoes they want to buy. Whether they want to buy the best shoes in the world or not is a little bit immaterial. What matters is, what do they want to buy, and am I prepared to build it? So we have to have all kinds of ways of listening to that customer, of what do they want, how do they feel, what are they responding to? And that is a philosophical switch, that is a corporate culture issue, and the companies that get customer centricity are the ones that are able to take advantage of these tools.
Right. And are you seeing that shift? I mean, there are the obvious examples. I think if you look at any marketplace, in the UK, it would be, Tesco is often cited as being, a company which has effectively built its success around a customer-centric strategy. Right. Are you seeing more organisations doing more of those kind of things, on both sides of the Atlantic?
I am, and the companies that are doing it first are the ones who've always been data intelligent,
right.
Have always had data at their... So Tesco is a natural. I've got my Tesco membership card. They know everything I buy at every visit and how often I come and how much I spend. Well, that's a huge amount of data that they have done an excellent job of monetizing.
Yeah.
So they understand that if they can use that data on behalf of the customer instead of about the customer. In other words, they're using that data to help me buy more things I want to buy rather than sell me things they want to sell me. They will be more successful. So experience draws that out. So companies that have more data, financial organizations, I realize that nowadays financial organizations are not happily swimming along, but they have data. They know who their customers are. They know how much money they've got. They know when there is an anomaly in the use of financial instruments that they can take action on. So they understand that web data is just another data stream. Tesco understands that web data is just another data stream. So if I look at what you're doing on the website along with what you're putting in the trolley, I can make some projections and I can take some actions on a marketing perspective, and I can absolutely measure the results. So the companies that have a lot of data and are adding the web data to the compilation of what they know about customers end up being the winners.